louder. Oh, sorry. Because I was switching around. Yeah. So by the time, these railways are built, especially those in the urban area, our railway network coverage will be approaching the national level. Actually, we do pretty good on public transport usage. Hong Kong is top of the chart among other developed cities, with a 90% public transport usage. This is partly the result of a very good transportation system, public transport system, and as well as the vehicle restraint that we are used to. In terms of the highway side, there are a few, not as much as the railway, but there are a few highways coming up. It's glad to say that a lot of these are actually underground. They are tunnels. For example, the Central Wanzhou Bypass, Central Kowloon Road, the Namkin Tunnel, the new tunnel going into Chengguano, as well as the Dumun Chema Lake. I think some of us here know very well the history of the Central Wanzhou Bypass, half tunnel and half bridges connecting to Island Eastern Corridor. Because of the community's involvement, it's now all tunnel until it connects with the Island Eastern Corridor. And we have to think about the new roads. The new roads to be for planning and environmental objective, and not just to meet the growth of traffic. For buses occupy a big part of the road system. We are actually having a very good bus system. And we are seeing environmentally friendly vehicles. But however, we all know there's an issue with buses. People often complain that we have too many buses on the road. Shall we give more priority, even more priority to buses? Which form of buses? Competing buses with the railway, or feeder service that actually complement the railway? There's a choice the community needs to make. For example, the buses that runs through Hong Kong Island today, some of the buses from Northwestern territories, they go through all of Central. Some of the buses from Northeast territory, they also go through all of Central. And actually things that we can be thinking of is having interchanges before it goes into the busiest places. People can interchange tram, minibus, or shuttle bus routes running along Central. But again, these are community's choice. Whether we want more mode choice, we want to use rail, tram, bus, or do we want an environment in the Central with less traffic? We have to make a choice. Zooming into the streets where the people activity, the streets, of course, a long time ago, once for people and public transport. And now, in previous day-to-day basis, there are a lot of the streets have become vehicle-dominated, full environment. Of course, we know what we want and what we don't want. Again, the challenge is how. We actually, as I just said, we've done very good before in restraining the ownership of vehicles. We are actually again leading the world in among the developed cities, but we must continue to do so. Apart from continuing the vehicle ownership restraint so we can contain the fleet of vehicles not expanding like some of the major cities, and especially almost all of the cities in China. Apart from this, we can think about some network improvement to take perhaps the opportunity ahead of us with the additional railway as well as the additional road network. Of course, there are other measures that can help contain vehicular traffic, but measures like carbon stacker flows will not work very well in Hong Kong. It's very difficult to implement. Another more drastic, of course, is eco-charging, congestion charging. but these are even more complex that requires a full public participation. So wrong with the slides. So in future, in the harbour area, that's the densest area where people work and live, we would have a sort of a ring road structure when the central Kowloon Wood and central Wan Chai bypass is completed. The green bit shows that they are largely underground. This gives us an opportunity to rethink of the roadwide hierarchy, whether we can redefine the road structure so that we can give more priority to people. How can we do that? For example, in the central Wan Chai area, once the bypass is ready, the through traffic would be on the bypass. We can think about putting more buses on the Connaught Road. Where are the buses coming from? There are actually a lot of the buses are on Tennessee Road at the moment. So we shift the through traffic onto the bypass, and then we shift some of the buses onto Gloucester Road. Tennessee Road is the busiest places with a lot of development, street frontage. So we can actually rethink about the spaces currently on Tennessee Road, so we can make it a bit more pedestrian friendly. This can be achieved, of course, because we are going to have a very good rail system when all the rail expansions are completed. Most of the areas, activity areas, will be within 500 meters of railway catchment. So we can get to places very easily without using cars. Of course, we can think about any additional environmentally friendly transport system, whether we want to add more, or, I don't know, Mr. Charest, you may or may not like this, without wires. But of course, the old